Well, I've been saying the same thing. I'm like, when it comes to that situation, like everything is exactly how it is. Everything is that.
The internet didn't just explode, it unraveled in real time. Overnight, a scandal so messy, so emotional, and so brutally public erupted that fans are calling it one of the most shocking betrayals in recent hip-hop history. At the center of it all? Remy Ma, and the man she trusted when everything else was already complicated, Eazy the Block. But what just surfaced has people questioning whether this was ever love, or just a perfectly staged illusion waiting to collapse. Because it didn't start with a confession. It started with a leak. A single screenshot that looked harmless at first, until fans zoomed in. A message. A name. A timestamp that didn't match the story everyone had been told. And then suddenly, more screenshots appeared. Conversations layered on top of each other like a digital crime scene. One message in particular has shaken everyone: "She still believes everything I say." That line spread like wildfire, reposted, debated, and dissected across every platform within minutes. But before anyone could process it...
Yeah, Pat used to come see me literally every single day, so I was chilling. I was like...
So he came up every day? Every visit?
For the first year, he came literally every single day. When you're in a max, you have a visit every day, except for it alters on the weekends, Saturday or Sunday.
A second bomb dropped. A voice note. Distorted, but clear enough to recognize the tone. A man laughing, casually, as if nothing was at stake. As if someone's heart wasn't quietly breaking in the background. And then came the video. Grainy.
Treat them all the same, really. I've been, like you said, we've been married for 10 years. We've been together for 13 years. So when we met, we were really young. We were both in our early 20s, and we both had children when we were teenagers. So I pretty much watched the 18-year-olds grow up since they were about 4. And his 21-year-old, which is now my 21-year-old, she was about 8 or 9 when I first met them. So for them to be 18 and in their 20s now, I feel like I've been there for pretty much a large part of their lives. And they get
unsteady, but devastating. A clip that allegedly shows Eazy in a moment he can't explain away, with someone who definitely isn't Remy. The timing? That's what makes it brutal. Because according to fans, that exact moment lines up with when Remy was publicly defending him, shutting down rumors, standing 10 toes behind him while the truth was already slipping through her fingers. But the most haunting part isn't the cheating. It's what insiders are claiming happened right after. They say Remy didn't find out from him. She found out the same way the world did, through the internet. Through strangers reposting her heartbreak in real time. And when she finally confronted him, the response wasn't denial, it wasn't even panic. It was something colder. "You're acting surprised." That one sentence has changed everything. Because now the narrative is shifting fast. Was she blindsided, or was she warned? Was this betrayal, or a situation she was pulled into knowing it might end like this? And just when it felt like the truth couldn't get any darker, sources began hinting at something even worse, something that hasn't fully surfaced yet. Because according to multiple insiders, what we've seen so far isn't even the full story. It's just the part they were willing to leak first. The fallout didn't just continue, it detonated on a completely different level. Within hours of those first leaks, timelines were flooded with what looked like a coordinated drop of receipts, each one more damaging than the last. Screenshots weren't random anymore. They were precise. Labeled. Timestamped like someone had been documenting everything for a reason no one fully understands yet. And right in the center of it all was Remy Ma, watching her reality get rewritten in real time while the internet played judge, jury, and executioner. Then came the messages that changed the tone entirely.
That ain't no regular female, my nigga, that's his wife. Knocking you out compared to what he could have did to you. Nigga, that was life. And you not off the hook either. If you gon' cheat, at least cheat with a nigga that can fight. You know this ain't right? You know this ain't right? Come on, y'all know this ain't right. Y'all know this ain't right. Remy, you are up here supporting the victim. We done had 6 Chrome events. 6 Chrome events. Papoose was at all of them.
Not flirtatious. Not vague. Direct. Cold. One alleged exchange showed Eazy the block telling someone, "She's too invested now. There's no turning back for her." That single line hit like a shockwave because it didn't sound like someone caught up in a mistake. It sounded like someone fully aware of the damage they were causing and choosing to continue anyway. And fans didn't just react, they investigated. Old interviews resurfaced. Past live streams were clipped and reposted.
Knew a few months before our battle hit me and Holla. The nigga knew already. I know he up there trying to play victim and all of that shit, but the nigga been knew. He knew 2 years ago. I ain't gonna lie. Give me don't let the nigga cap y'all niggas up. The nigga been knew. He been knew. And I'm gonna tell y'all how he knew. So how he knew is the nigga that y'all think that's so thorough, he put a recording device in Remy's car. So how he knew is he was bugging her fucking car.
In one viral clip, Remy laughs nervously when asked about trust, saying, "I always know more than I say." At the time, it seemed harmless.
Is really mad that when they go to sleep at night and I wake up, we both wake up, it's like we doing better than them niggas. So them niggas is mad, right? You know what I'm saying? And then I just want one real nigga, y'all, to just keep it a beam and say, "Yo, we're mad that you got Rem and we did." I just want one nigga to keep it a buck, bro. Cause that's what y'all niggas is mad at, bro. It's just like, yo, y'all niggas is going to the edge of the earth to go everywhere else because y'all niggas is just mad that it happened. I kept it $1 with niggas. I'm like, yo, hey, listen. If it was that easy for any of y'all niggas, y'all would have did it.
Now, people are replaying it like it was a warning hidden in plain sight. But the real explosion came from something no one expected, a supposed private voice recording that began circulating in group chats before spilling onto public platforms. The audio is chaotic, voices layered, but one moment freezes everything. A woman, believed by many to be Remy, says quietly, "You made me look stupid." Not screamed. Not dramatized. Just said in a way that sounds like the realization hit all at once. And the response? That's what shook people. A male voice, calm, almost detached, replies, "You did that to yourself." That line divided the internet instantly. Some called it manipulation. Others called it honesty. But everyone agreed on one thing: it didn't sound like someone trying to fix anything. It sounded like someone who had already checked out. And just when the situation couldn't get more personal.
Back with the ball, right? Which, alright, I'll come out, explain everything that happened. Yo, we was fucking with each other, you was cheating on ball, such and such, whatever happens. Let's say Love and Hip Hop pick it up, y'all get back together. How does now? I get a bag, you know what I mean? I get a little bag, I get a little check, couple little, you know what I'm saying? Such and such you know what I mean? I'm the ball that such and such cheat. I'm around now, I'm a little bit. So at the end of the day, it kind of fit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it fit everybody's drawing. Like, so it's
a new layer dropped that turned everything into pure chaos. A series of alleged deleted texts surfaced, showing what appears to be coordination between Eazy and another woman, not just casual conversations, but strategic ones. One message reads, "She's posting again tonight. Play along until then. Play along." That phrase alone sent fans into a spiral because it suggests something far bigger than cheating. It suggests performance, timing, control. Like this entire situation might have been manipulated behind the scenes while one person—
You shouldn't have made her your girlfriend. Yeah, that's battle rap news now. You feel me? You shouldn't have made her your girlfriend. Yeah. If you didn't want us to talk about it, you shouldn't have put it out there. Kept that on the low. It's fair game.
Person was emotionally all in and the other was already planning an exit. But here's where it gets even messier. A well-known blogger claimed they received an anonymous email containing screenshots that haven't been fully released yet, and according to them, these images allegedly show Remy confronting Eazy days before the scandal broke publicly. If that's true, it changes everything. Because it means she may have already known something was off, and still chose to stand by him publicly. Why would she do that? That question has taken over every corner of social media. Some say loyalty. Others say denial. But a growing number of people are starting to suggest something darker, that she was being emotionally manipulated into staying quiet while everything unraveled behind her back. And then the internet did what it always does, it turned the situation into a spectacle. Hashtags started trending within minutes. Fan pages turned into investigative hubs. People were mapping timelines, comparing outfits and videos, matching locations from backgrounds. One viral thread even claimed to identify the mystery woman, pointing out identical jewelry pieces and mirrored captions posted days apart. Nothing confirmed, but convincing enough to keep the fire burning. Meanwhile, celebrities began circling the situation without fully stepping into it. Subtle comments. Shady likes. One public figure posted, "Sometimes the loudest love is the quietest lesson." No context. No names. But the timing? Too perfect to ignore. And through all of this, Remy's presence online shifted in a way that didn't go unnoticed. She wasn't posting like usual. No direct responses. Just one cryptic upload that had everyone talking, a black screen with a single line, "Respect isn't negotiable." That post alone racked up millions of views in minutes. Comments flooded in from fans begging her to speak, demanding clarity, offering support, and sometimes, questioning everything. Because by now, the narrative wasn't simple anymore. It wasn't just victim and villain. It was complicated. Messy. Unclear. But just when people thought the storm might start settling, something dropped that flipped the entire energy again. A short, nearly overlooked clip surfaced, no captions, no explanation, showing Eazy in what appears to be a private setting, speaking to someone off camera. The quality is low, but one sentence is crystal clear: "It was never supposed to go this far." That line hit differently. Because now it doesn't just sound like betrayal. It sounds like something spiraled out of control. Something that started one way and turned into something no one involved can fully contain anymore. And if that's true, then the biggest question hasn't even been answered yet. What exactly was the plan in the beginning, and who else knew about it the moment that clip surfaced? Everything shifted from scandal to full-blown collapse. The internet didn't just react, it erupted into a second wave of obsession, as if the first leaks were only a warning shot. Now people were convinced there was a hidden timeline no one had been told about, a sequence of events carefully buried under denials, half-truths, and carefully worded posts. And at the center of the storm, once again, stood Remy Ma and Eazy the Block, but this time, the story felt bigger than both of them. Because new leaks weren't just exposing betrayal anymore. They were exposing intent. A fresh batch of alleged screenshots began circulating, showing conversations that looked less like a relationship and more like a strategy. One message read, "We keep it controlled until it blows over." Another followed shortly after, "Don't let her see the pattern." Fans immediately latched onto the wording, controlled, pattern, blow over, as if this wasn't emotional chaos, but something orchestrated behind closed doors. And then the most damaging piece dropped. A voice recording allegedly sent from Eazy to an unidentified contact. In it, his tone is different, more calculated, almost rehearsed. He says, once she's emotionally locked in, she won't question the rest. That line didn't just trend. It detonated. Because suddenly the narrative wasn't about cheating anymore, it was about emotional engineering. And the internet turned into a courtroom with no judge, just millions of people trying to piece together who knew what, and when they knew it. But what made everything worse was Remy's silence. Not total silence, strategic silence. Every time she posted, it felt like a reaction without confirmation. A statement without names. A message without direction. One post in particular stood out, "People reveal themselves eventually." That sentence became fuel. Some called it heartbreak. Others called it warning. But everyone agreed it wasn't random. Then came the confrontation leak. A longer audio clip, messier than the rest, surfaced through fan pages before spreading everywhere. You can hear raised voices, interruptions, emotional spikes, but one exchange cut through everything. Remy's voice, "You let me defend you while you were doing this?" A pause. Then Eazy, "Nobody made you do that." That response changed everything again. Because it didn't sound defensive. It sounded final. Detached. Like accountability wasn't even on the table anymore. And that's when fans started splitting into two camps more aggressively than ever. One side argued Remy was manipulated, pointing to the timing of leaks, the emotional tone of the recordings, and the pattern of alleged coordination between messages. The other side insisted she ignored red flags, highlighting old interviews where trust issues were openly mentioned but brushed off. But while the debate raged online, something far more chaotic was unfolding behind the scenes. Insiders began claiming that the leak source wasn't random. That multiple people had access. That this wasn't one person exposing a secret, it was a group fallout happening in real time. And if true, that means the situation was already unstable long before the internet ever saw it. Then another twist hit. A supposed friend of the situation posted anonymously, claiming Remy had seen parts of the truth weeks earlier but was told it was miscommunication. According to the post, she allegedly tried to confront inconsistencies privately, only to be reassured each time that nothing serious was happening. Whether true or not, it ignited a new wave of sympathy and suspicion. Because if she did ask questions and still got reassurances, then who was controlling the narrative before everything exploded publicly? And just when it felt like the story couldn't bend any further, another clip surfaced, shorter, sharper, almost like a final nail in the coffin. A male voice, believed to be Eazy again, says, "You don't fall for it unless you want to." That sentence shattered the discourse instantly. Was that blame? Confession? Or deflection disguised as honesty? Nobody agreed, but everyone reacted. And while the internet was busy dissecting every second, a new detail quietly emerged that made everything feel even more unstable. Timestamps from multiple leaks didn't just overlap, they contradicted each other. Meaning either the timeline was wrong, or someone was deliberately manipulating what people were seeing first. That possibility alone sent the investigation into overdrive. Fans began reconstructing events minute by minute, trying to figure out which leak came first, which message was altered, which video had been reposted out of sequence. And in the middle of all that chaos, Remy posted again. No explanation. No clarification. Just one line, "Truth doesn't need an audience." That post didn't calm anything. It escalated it. Because now people weren't just asking what happened. They were asking who controlled what they were allowed to see. And that question led to the darkest theory yet, that this entire situation might not just be betrayal, but exposure. And if that's true, then the final piece of this story hasn't dropped yet. Not even close. What you just watched unfold is exactly why this story has taken over the internet, because nothing about it feels fully confirmed, fully explained, or fully finished. Every time new proof drops, it raises more questions than answers. And right now, the situation involving Remy Ma and Eazy the Block is still shifting by the minute. And that's the part most people miss. Because in stories like this, the loudest moment is never the last moment. There are always missing messages, unseen clips, and context that only comes out after the internet has already made up its mind. And when that final piece drops, it usually changes everything people were so sure about. So if you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another celebrity rumor cycle. It's a developing situation where every new leak has the power to flip the entire narrative upside down in seconds. And whether you believe Remy was blindsided, misled, or already aware of what was coming, the truth is still not fully on the table. That's why staying updated matters right now more than ever. Because the next leak won't wait for anyone. It won't come with warning. It won't care who's ready or not. It will just hit, and when it does, the entire story could reset again. So don't treat this like a finished chapter, because it isn't. Not even close. If you want to stay ahead of what's really going on behind the scenes, before the narrative gets rewritten again, make sure you're subscribed. Because updates like this don't slow down, they escalate. And the next drop could completely change who you